Welcome into the Fans Only Sports Network and welcome to the campus of the University of Maryland for NCLL Championship Lacrosse. It is championship weekend here on the club lacrosse scene, and we'll start our day on the Fans Only Sports Network from Field 1 with the University of Kentucky Wildcats taking on the Millersville Marauders. Charlie Adams here on play-by-play with Larry Yin doing the camera work. NCLL on FOSN, both teams making their way to the field. 20 minutes of running clock here between the top team in Kentucky and the Marauders. Fans Only Sports Network is proud to bring you this action, sponsored by Powell Lacrosse. Powell Lacrosse, the proud sponsor of us on the Fans Only Sports Network, and as you all know, this game goes far beyond the end line and carries on long after the last blow of the whistle. Since the early 1990s, the Powell family has been fueling the imagination of players, fans, and enthusiasts with their highly energized brand of lacrosse and unique backyard style. From their humble beginnings inside the small upstate New York paper mill town of Champion, the Powell brothers played the game with fire, unrivaled creativity, and wild passion. Over the course of their careers, they became three of the most decorated lacrosse players, and when they retired in 2015, they started this company and now rule the lacrosse world. Check out powelllacrosse.com and do some shopping around and join the journey. NCLL24 is your code for 10% off your entire order to start your relationship with Powell today. Getting underway with Kentucky moving the ball into the corner. Pushing it forward is Chandler Newton. Going to be 20-minute running quarters here. One game being broadcast here live on our first field, and across from here you can see a glimpse of our second game. Brought to you by Tim Duffy and Matt Vucinos, another great crew here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Interception for Kentucky at midfield, and a long pass down will bounce and be scooped up. The goalie for Millersville here today, Jacob Gerber. Gerber, a senior for Millersville. Millersville player goes down, and a whistle as possession with Kentucky. Hard defense from behind, knocking the stick away from the number 22 of Jared Plummer. Good clean takeaway for the Marauders. Action will resume now with Sean Shiriako. Shiriako moves to the wing. And now the Marauders taking their time from the point, charging past. A shot saved by Kentucky as Tucker Joswiak couldn't get it to go. Bryce Mode, the starter in goal for the Kentucky side of things. Again, if you're just joining us, Kentucky wearing the white, the Marauders in the black and gold. First of 6 games broadcasted simultaneously along with the field across from us. Long day of semifinals followed by quarterfinals action. Followed by quarterfinals followed by semifinals action. There we go. The Elite 8, if you will, to start us off in our Division II of the NCLL. Bounced forward, loose on the ground, scooped up, and Kentucky now trying to make a run for it, knocked away. The Marauders with Connor New scooping it back into their possession. Fighting for it midfield, still loose on the ground. It's going to roll towards the sideline, be whistled out of bounds. Possession will go Kentucky's way on the foot race. It's a overcast day. The rain coming down here a little bit lighter than it was earlier. Hopefully it stays away for the most part. We're excited for Championship Sunday coming up tomorrow from SECU Stadium, home to the Terrapins football program. Can't wait to be out there broadcasting live, free, tomorrow here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Hope to see you there. Kentucky works it around the top. Back over to the wing now as Sammy Hamilton makes a move. Passes inside. A good look from behind the back. Ben Thomas tried to scoop it through. It will stay with Kentucky as they return the action in the X. Maybe a wraparound now slowed down, weighing options. The Wildcats moving back and forth. Toss to the right side. And right back to the wing as the number 0 waits in the X there. Going down. Maybe a little slip up on this turf. Kentucky's Mikey Onkana with the slip. And it keeps Kentucky's possession after the whistle. Ben Thomas tosses to the point. Long day of lacrosse action. Starts here with our top-seeded team in Division II. Marauders with a clean takeaway. And now it's going to roll down the field. Out of goal comes Mode to secure it for Kentucky. Kentucky slowing it down in the corner. Good aggressive defense being played, and that hard defense is going to draw a flag. Daniel Ani will head to the penalty box for that hit. A slash gives a man-up advantage for the Wildcats. Players on a knee. Trainers coming over from the sideline as the number 46 for Kentucky remains on the turf. We'll take a break here with 13:40 to go in our first quarter. No score between these two teams. When we return, a man advantage for the Wildcats. Welcome back here after the injury. Play ready to resume. It was actually the number 90 of Mikey Ancona who went down and has now exited the field as he's still feeling the effects of that collision that got Kentucky in a man-up situation. Almost capitalized on it with that wide shot. Nearly got it to go. The sun slowly coming back up here, at least brightening up a little. Inside look, and Kentucky gets the first goal of our Division II side of the tournament. With the man-up advantage, they put one across, a Wildcats goal. Kentucky strikes first. They lead it 1-0. So we have one goal across in favor of the top team, Kentucky, as Ben Thomas put away goal number 1 to get our day going. The Wildcats starting off hot. Man advantage quickly creates a goal-scoring opportunity. Thank you to everyone here tuned in on the Fans Only Sports Network watching NCLL action. Charlie Adams here as Millersville looks to bounce it through. Bryce Mode watches as it goes past him into the corner. Out of bounds, and Millersville still holds possession. Getting it to the point now. Rian Silsey. And that pass over the top will go out of bounds. Kentucky wins possession. They'll get it to Bryce Mode as they send it back into play. Now loose out in front, trickling back to Bryce Mode, who clears it out once again. Now in the corner, Kentucky with a 1-goal lead. Early going of this one. Next broadcast up here on the Fans Only Sports Network will be Westchester versus Marist. Another D2 Elite 8 matchup. And if you're looking for the Union versus Georgetown game that's being played on Field 2 currently, you can go onto our YouTube page and find that as well, live and free. The winner of this game will move on to the 5 p.m. Final Four matchup. Hope to see you tuning back in for that one as well. Close look for Kentucky. Knocked away, it rolled out of bounds, and Millersville won the foot race to the ball. They'll take over possession here. Just about halfway through our first quarter of action. Again, we're playing 20-minute running quarters with Kentucky in the white and Millersville, who had a long opportunity up the field, nearly were able to get across, but the stick knocked away by Kentucky's defense. And Kentucky takes over possession after nearly a breakaway chance for Millersville. Now sent wide over the top, out of bounds. Millersville takes right back over in possession. The Marauders will clear it out as they get it to Gerber, their goalkeeper. Both these teams in our Elite 8 action as Millersville's looking for an equalizer. That shot goes up over the top. Matthew Lieber was looking for a call, didn't get one, and now a timeout's going to be taken here. We'll take it along with them. Your score 1-0. The Wildcats leading over the Marauders. You're watching the NCLL semifinals on the Fans Only Sports Network, presented by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com. Use code NCLL24 for 10% off your purchase. Welcome back into the Fans Only Sports Network. 1-0 in your first quarter. The Millersville Marauders, the Keystone Conference Championship, or won the Keystone Conference Champion to get here. They went 11-5 this season with a 5-game winning streak. They won 8 of their last 9 matchups. And the number 1 seeded Kentucky Wildcats, this is their first time in program history that they have that to be proud of, as they went 5-6 and only played 3 D2 teams when they went 3-0. Due to the location of Midwest teams, after pandemic, former NCLL teams do not have teams, or the Deep South Conference, the NCLL has not readmitted them, so they were the Midwest champions, and they could only face 3 D2 teams, but the ones they did, they took down in all 3 of their matchups. Earned them that 1 seed as now up the field comes Kentucky once again. And a spin around shot. The Kentucky Wildcats lead it 2-0. A great opportunity taken advantage of. Kentucky leads it 2-0. The Wildcats put it away in a multi-goal lead here in our 9 o'clock matchup. Looking poised to make it over to the 5 p.m. Final Four action. Trying to go as the 1 seed all the way to our championship matchup tomorrow. Kentucky with the face-off win has the sideline excited as Jack Tatum brought it in, and the shot goes wide. Kentucky continues to control it. Substitutions coming in for Kentucky with play back underway. Mikey Ancona back on the field after getting banged up earlier. Good to see that as he's returned to game action. Making a pass there now in the X for Kentucky. Kentucky spins back and forth. The Wildcats circulating the ball now up to the point. Jump shot saved upon by Jacob Gerber. And pushed out to the side where a big knockdown, and now a little bit extra after as the whistle blows. And it's called a hold possession granted to Millersville after that infraction. Fans Only Sports Network is proudly presented to you by Powell Lacrosse. Great time to come down to Maryland and broadcast some NCLL action. Excited about the opportunity. You can check us out on social medias at FO Sports, FOSPORTZ. Got to remember the Z at the end, as well as fansonlysports.com to keep up on all streaming of the NCLL and all the other games, sports, and events that are live on the Fans Only Sports Network every day. Kentucky slows it down in their offensive zone. They already hold a 2-goal lead. Now just waiting in the corner. Millersville defenders and goalie Gerber. Watch as coming from the X, maybe another wraparound chance. This one knocked away. Sammy Hamilton came in hard on attack. Millersville with possession in their own end. Now working it free as up the field, a sidearm sling to midfield. Knocked away. Kentucky scoops it back up in their possession. As Ben Thomas, our first goal scorer of the day, holds on to it, now whips it to the point. All the way out. Kentucky are going to work their way in with the pass back to Thomas. First quarter action continues with Thomas sidearming it out of bounds. No roll past, and play resumes with Kentucky holding possession once again. Hard send in, loose out in front for a second before being secured by Jacob Gerber. Chandler Newton heads onto the field and quickly defending now, and a big collision knocks down Newton as he was trying to prevent any forward motion from Connor New. Now Millersville, they trail by 2 and are looking to get on the board with a pick set to the right by Luke Roberts. Now into the X, the Marauders. Defended closely. Kentucky not giving up much ground, but with the little space he had, the shot by Sean Shiriako goes past, and the Marauders get onto the scoreboard here. It's 2-1. Closely contested shot as Millersville now cuts the deficit in half. It's a 1-goal game as we continue to inch closer to our second quarter of action. With the face-off win, again, Kentucky holds possession. Kentucky carries through the contact into the wing where closely double-teamed and knocked away. Now passed out to the wing. Rolled onto the ground as it's finding its way over to Harry Georges. Hesitation move. Now a long pass to the X is out of bounds overhead. Mistake made there as Millersville given possession. That's the whistle for the quarter with the score 2-1. The Wildcats out in front over the Marauders. The NCLL National Tourney is brought to you by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com, do some shopping around, and join the journey. They offer an industry-leading 1-year warranty on all of their products, and every single stick that leaves their headquarters is strung by the hands of a certified Powell craftsman to make sure your stick is throwing perfect right out of the box. Use coupon code NCLL24 for 10% off your entire order and start your relationship with Powell today. We'll be back with second quarter action after this quick break. Welcome back here to the Fans Only Sports Network. Our second quarter coming up. The NCLL Elite 8 action continues with our first Division II game, with the other 9 o'clock game being played on our second field and also broadcasted live. Again, 20-minute running quarters is what we'll play here. As Union versus Georgetown and Kentucky versus Millersville facing off. Kentucky, after a 2-goal first quarter, look to get on the board quickly in the second and send it wide. Thank you to everyone here tuned in watching the Fans Only Sports Network. NCLL action winding down in the season with a big finale. And the shot can't get off as it leaves the net right at the last second. Now scooped up by the 46 of Daniel Ani at midfield. The whistle. Possession headed Kentucky's way. So Kentucky gets possession right back just after losing it. With Bryce Mode still in goal for Kentucky. And as well, Jacob Gerber still in goal for Millersville in the black jerseys. And Kentucky setting things up from the X, now moved to the wing, a hard shot sent in and down to his knees, Gerber saves. Passed back to the goalie mode as Kentucky will clear it down the sideline. Some good awareness there from the Kentucky Wildcats to recognize the defender behind as they continue to move it to the offensive zone. Led 2-0 in this one. Lead down to 2-1. Looking to add on though as they move to the X. Nodding the play forward. A good takeaway for Millersville as Daniel Ani picks it off and moves it past midfield. Ani slows down, backs up. Timeout called by the Marauders. Timeout Black, a little confusion there for a second, but it will be a timeout for the Marauders. Your score is 2-1 here. We'll be right back after this timeout with more second quarter action here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back in to your second quarter with the score still 2-1 between the Marauders and the Kentucky Wildcats. No scores yet in our second quarter of play. If you're joining us and looking for the Georgetown matchup, they are playing on the field across from us, and you can tune in on the Fans Only Sports Network. Both games broadcasted here at the same time. Tim Duffy has you covered on that one if you've managed to find your way to the wrong broadcast. Georgetown versus Union is also live and free. Or you could watch it on demand if you want to continue to watch this one as tied up ball game. Millersville loads it up from the slot and strikes for their second of the game. Sean Shiriako puts it away, and this game now 2-2. 2 goals already for Shiriako after the hot start from Kentucky. The Millersville Marauders are back even. 8 seed looking for an upset here in our our quarterfinals action. Kentucky wins the face-off once again. They've definitely been strong on the face-offs, at least to start here. And now at the wing, Kentucky will pass off. And that pass incomplete, going through the legs of Logan Bates to the sideline. See substitutions being made on both sides as Millersville's possession. Rian Silsey. Kentucky looking to take the lead once again after this game was tied up earlier in the second quarter. And a load-up shot will do just that. Kentucky takes the lead once again. Number 0 puts the Wildcats out in front. They lead it 3-2. Back knotted in our second quarter and back to the face-off circle at midfield. Face-off squirts out towards Millersville's side, and the Marauders win the face-off, but then a strong takeaway and a bounce shot goes wide as nearly Wildcats doubled down on their scoring efforts there. Marauders bounce it up to midfield. Loose there, and chasing after it is Matthew Lebar. Kicked back towards the face-off circle where Millersville holds possession. They trail by 1. Just tied up the game and just as quickly gave up their lead. Millersville being triple teamed, and Grove had no choice but to lose possession to the Wildcats, who scoop it up now, heading down the field quickly, passed off to the corner, back to the wing. Now across the field, whipped across, a good save made by Gerber. These boys are hitting now in our second quarter. Really warmed up to the action as down goes Ben Thomas. Thomas scooped it back onto his stick before making the pass to the wing, and the ball sent out of bounds. Shot goes wide, but Kentucky continues to control the ball in the attacking zone when they send it in from the corner. There's a 30-second hold and a penalty against Millersville as that shot goes wide. Takeaway for the Marauders as they bring it up the field. Kentucky's been stingy defending here. Players waiting to substitute on in the sideline for the Kentucky side of things. And a bounce shot nearly got past Gerber. A good job to get low and stop that one. Now Millersville in their own end, working it from sideline to sideline. Tossed up in the air and brought back into control by the number 7 of Rian Silsey. Again, Kentucky a quick takeaway. Ball in the corner. Substitution comes on and gets the ball immediately for Kentucky. That's Harry Georges. Now a shot bounding in the air, still kept close. Loose as it moves to the X, and in the sideline, possession will go in favor of Millersville. First half of action, a closely contested, exciting one. That Kentucky led at one point 2-0 as the wind now picking up here Kentucky bounce shot gets it to go. Another 2-goal lead in favor of the Wildcats. Doing it again. The 1-seeded Wildcats playing one step ahead of our 8 seed here. Number 80 of John Kielsinski. Kentucky back on the scoreboard, back to a 2-goal lead here. So we're over halfway through our second quarter of play. Now back over to Ancona. Kentucky moving it quickly from the X, and the pass goes wide. It will roll to the sideline. Kept in bounds by Kentucky just for a second before it's kicked out, and possession goes with Kentucky. Refs right in front of that, seeing the kick. Making the right call to give Kentucky possession back. You can see the fans lined up here. A lot of people attending in person despite the weather. Lining the sidelines on a rainy, cold, windy day. Thomas passes off. Now at the point, Ben Thomas working his way down. A good pass, a sneaky one at that. Allowed Kentucky to get the shot off, but Jacob Gerber makes the save. Whistle and white ball. The white, of course, Kentucky white. So the Wildcats. Gerber takes it out of net. Passes to his left over to Danielani. And again, ball going to roll out of bounds on the kick. And it is white ball. The sideline had some worries for a second whether they would give it to him. Five minutes to go now in our second quarter. We'll adjust our clock accordingly there. Kentucky at the wing, leading 4-2. Back up to the point. Charlie Adams here for the Fans Only Sports Network, bringing you NCLL Elite 8 action live from the University of Maryland. Shot goes up over the net. A little too high from Harry Georges. Keeps this game 4-2. Now passed out to the wing. A hard pass from Ancona. The dive unsuccessful, and it'll roll out of bounds. Possession switches over in favor of the Marauders. Ball lightly pushed across. And now slapped away. Some hard defense coming from John Kielsinski. Marauders continue to hold possession after the whistle. Passed over to the wing. Wing to wing action now into the corner. Held there by Connor New. Now slung inside, the pass can't be completed as Sean Shiriako once again was in position maybe for a hat trick here in our first half of action, which is less than 3 minutes to go now. Kentucky takes over in their own end. A high pass gets it right where it needed to be over the defending Marauders, and now ball passed over to the corner. Two minutes to go as Kentucky holds possession in their own end, or excuse me, in the attacking zone, but taking their time to work it back up now, crashing forward. Double team coming. Passed away to Sammy Hamilton. And a hard send-in goes wide. Another clean look for Kentucky, just missing the mark. Cutting through. Does Kentucky have another? They do. Sideline exhilarated for their fifth goal here in our first half of play. Kentucky does it again. 5 goals in our first half. Play resumes from midfield. "15 seconds to go. Millersville with one last breath of first half action. Referees count it down along with the sidelines as the final shot saved by Bryce Mode. And our first half in the books with the score 5-2. The Wildcats lead over the Marauders. We'll be back with second half action shortly. But for now, a reminder that this broadcast is brought to you by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com, do some shopping around, and join the journey. They offer an industry-leading 1-year warranty on all of their products, and every single stick that leaves their headquarters is strung by the hands of a certified Powell craftsman to make sure your stick is throwing perfect right out of the box. Use coupon code NCLL24 for 10% off your entire order and start your relationship with Powell today. We'll be back with second half action after this break. 5-2 your score. The Wildcats leading here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back to the Fans Only Sports Network, where it's 5-2. The Wildcats lead over the Marauders. You're watching the National College Lacrosse League live on FOSN. Stick goes flying, belonging to a Kentucky player, and Kentucky still proceeds up the field with a good look there from Caden Wilson. Charlie Adams here, live on the Fans Only Sports Network. Larry In doing the camera work here on campus at Maryland. Might be the farthest that Fans Only Sports Network has traveled to broadcast to you live. 6 games this Saturday. Here's your first 6 games across from us, being broadcasted by Tim Duffy and Matt Vucinos. Also, their first game, Georgetown versus Union, is live right now as well if you want to tune in there or watch on demand after following this game. The winner on both of these fields will face off at 5 p.m. against one another. So will the winner of our 11 a.m. games coming up next, as out of the halftime break, Kentucky right back into the scoring column. Their 6th goal coming here from Sammy Hamilton. 6-2. Sammy Hamilton makes it that way, and Kentucky starting to run away with this one, up to a 4-goal lead to start off our 3rd quarter. Passed forward as Millersville now more than ever needs a response here. Connor New passes to the wing. From 42 to 21. Divide by 2 and get to Sean Shiriaka. 2 goals on his day. Both of the scores so far for Millersville. The rain has stopped here, at the moment at least, for our action in Maryland. A little send-in is all it takes for Matthew Labar to get past. The Marauders back in the scoring column. The bounce shot finds the empty space and puts Millersville back on the scoreboard. Back to midfield, facing off. Pass to the wing. Kentucky holds possession. The Wildcats with a few new faces on the field as substitutions coming in. One of those new substitutions receives the pass on the roll. Charging in from the wing, moving to the corner, now passed off to the X. Kentucky sends a shot wide. It will knock off the fence out of bounds. Now passed from the X into the corner. Kentucky looking to get back up to a 4-goal lead, leading 6-3. Rain starting back up a little bit. The Wildcats make a move to the right. Pick sent, does the job as inside look, double teams, moved off to the corner. From the X, passed out, over to the wing. And charging forward, another double team effort And that light pass is taken away. Millersville charging up past midfield. Danielani with the takeaway and now the pass away. As in the corner, Kentucky regroups and starts pushing forward. Slowed down for Rian Silsey. And Silsey now making the run. Silsey still with it on his stick, finally taking the shot. Save made as Bryce Mode no longer in net. Double zeros takes over for Kentucky. Millersville taking some good time here in the attacking zone. Just moving it around with 13.5 to go. That pass goes out of bounds, and that will end that sequence for Millersville. Nothing comes out of it. Still a 3-goal game in favor of the 1-seeded Wildcats. Going through a bunch of defense. The shot comes off Harry George and will bounce over the net, out of bounds. Still Kentucky ball as it's sent out in front, loose out in front, and now a big collision right in front of the goal. Now the referees are getting together here, deciding on what to make of this. Possession will head to Millersville. Referees got together and made the call. Millersville takes over as still in goal, Jacob Gerber. Been here since the start of this one, remains in goal in our second half as well. Rian Silsey passes to the 21 of Sean Shiriako, looking for a hat trick here. Has 2 already, the first 2 scores for the Marauders. Now trying to find the edge. Pass inside, couldn't get all of possession as it's taken away by Kentucky. Now back loose for Joswiak to scoop up. As Tucker Joswiak has the pass knocked away in transit. Kentucky moves it up the field with Caden Wilson. Kentucky with a pick set. Pushed backwards now. Now over the top, right inside, an easy goal. Saw it being set up in real time and saw the result as well. A Wildcats goal, their 7th. Goal 7 for Kentucky. This team, again, the 1 seed here. They went 3-0 on the year against D3 teams. Or D2 teams, excuse me. And they only faced 3 teams due to their location. Based on them in the Midwest, not many D2 programs around them to face. They are the Midwest champions. The Cats went 4-3 in 2023. 2024 they were 5-6, but again 3-0 against those D2 opponents. That earned them the spot here and earned them a number 1 seeding. They beat Bowling Green 21-7 in the semifinals matchup, and in their conference championship beat Kent State 11-3. Certainly no stranger to putting up big numbers in the scoring column. 7 here with just over a quarter and a half to go. For the Millersville Marauders, they took down ECLC 10-1 in the conference semifinals, followed up by a Kutztown victory 8-3 in the championship game. Two teams that had experience at this event, the Elite Eight, taken down on Millersville Road to making it here. And they've put up a fight, but they don't look in best shape to move on at this point. 4 goals. Anything can happen in a short amount of time here in lacrosse, but it's time to get back in the scoring column. They have won this quarter from Matthew Lebar, but it was answered right back from Kentucky. Keeps us at a 4-goal game. Charlie Adams here for the Fans Only Sports Network as Kentucky circulates it once again at the top before moving to the corner. In the corner, the pass to Jack Mitchell. Up top, now back to the wing. We won't see the winner of this game and the winner of the game on the other field until 5 p.m. The same case for our 11 a.m. matchups as well. 5 p.m. where the Final Four will take place for both Division II teams, and we'll see who comes out as the top dog and punches their ticket to the championship game. You won't want to miss that matchup coming to you later on today. Ball rolled along the ground. Kentucky continues to hold possession. Passed forward, Kentucky now. A bounce shot, rings home, and the Wildcats have goal 8. Making a statement in our opening matchup, the 9 a.m. game continues to go in Kentucky's favor. A timeout is going to be called from Millersville. And that brings us to a good opportunity to let you know about the sponsors of our program here today. Powell Lacrosse, proudly sponsoring the NCLL tournament as well as us here on the Fans Only Sports Network. As you all know, this game goes far beyond the end line and carries on long after the last blow of the whistle. Since the early 1990s, the Powell family has been fueling the imagination of players, fans, and enthusiasts with their highly energized brand of lacrosse and unique backyard style. From their humble beginnings inside the small upstate New York paper mill town of Champion, the Powell brothers played the game with fire, unrivaled creativity, and wild passion. Over the course of their careers, they became 3 of the most decorated lacrosse players ever. In 2015, their playing days came to an end, and they started a company that exists to support the culture, push the future, and pull the past. Now, in their 9th year of business, they have become one of the world's top stick manufacturers, uniform suppliers, and event organizers. The best players are reaching for Powell sticks, the top teams are wearing Powell on their shoulders, and the best memories are being made at Powell events all over the world. Visit powelllacrosse.com, do some shopping, and join the journey. They offer an industry-leading 1-year warranty on all of their products, and every single stick that leaves their headquarters is strung by the hands of a certified Powell craftsman to make sure your stick is throwing perfect right out of the box. Use coupon code NCLL24 for 10% off your entire order and start your relationship with Powell today. back to game action now from midfield, where the face-off after an 8th goal by Kentucky came across. Scooped up, tripped up. Chandler Newton goes down hard after being tripped there. Possession remains with Kentucky after the trip, following our first face-off following goal 8. Ball passed along by Mikey Ancona. And now inside, a bounce shot gets the job done again. Kentucky right into the scoring column once again. That's a hat trick on his day. In our third quarter, 9 goals here. Kentucky is pulling away. They're up to a 6-goal lead. 4 minutes to go now in our first half of action, or excuse me, our third quarter of action. Play resumes. Kentucky holds possession. Another strong face-off for them. The Wildcats from the wing making a stutter step. And the point shot sent in out of bounds. Possession goes to the Marauders on that one. Millersville. Now the Marauders working it straight down the middle before holding up a bit. Next game that we'll have broadcast to you live here from our side of things is Westchester versus Marist. Marist just arriving with Westchester close behind. Both teams getting ready for this one. That shot nearly scooped in, and it will. Kentucky can't believe it, but it just crossed the goal line, and Marist gets the goal there. The Marauders cut this game down to a 5-goal game once again. Millersville puts another across. Still plenty of time left in this one. But it's been a strong quarter for Kentucky to be holding off. Millersville losing the face-off there. Kentucky, again, just taking their time here. We're approaching the end of our third quarter. A pick set, cut to the left as a shot sent in goes wide. Ball sent out of bounds, now back into play with Kentucky still holding possession as Sammy Hamilton takes over. Hamilton sends it over the top and behind the back. Ben Thomas, a smooth 10th goal to push this game to double digits for the Wildcats. What a goal. The Wildcats are just having fun out here with that behind the back score to put double digits in their scoring column. It's 10-4. You're watching the NCLL on the Fans Only Sports Network. Charlie Adams here live from Maryland to bring you the action as that bounce shot goes up and overhead coming from Zachary Grove. Player goes down right in front of the goal scoring opportunity as Rian Silsey denied on the doorstep. And that'll do it for our third quarter. Your score 10-4. Kentucky takes control of things as we enter our final quarter of play in our first game of action here live from Maryland. Welcome back in. Fourth quarter action coming up, another 20 minutes. Our final 20 minutes likely of our first game with Marist and Westchester waiting on the doorstep to get into game action right after for an 11 a.m. matchup. Kentucky sends it to the X to start off our fourth quarter. A strong lead in their favor. The wraparound attempt from Ancona won't go, and now cleared out to the sideline by the Millersville Marauders charging up the field. Thanking everyone tuned in watching NCLL lacrosse action here on the Fans Only Sports Network. We're proud to bring you this broadcast presented by Powell Lacrosse. As a flag goes down. It's a 30-second man advantage coming up for Millersville. Penalty goes against Kentucky there. The penalty on the number 9 for Kentucky. That's Ben Thomas. "30-second penalty. Starting right now, 30 seconds of a man-up opportunity for Millersville to start working their way back into this game. But good job out of goal for Kentucky to knock it down. Another flag comes onto the field. But Kentucky with the long pass up the sideline that goes out of bounds. Nearly catching a cameraman here for Kentucky. Now there's no man advantage. As there's 1 minute on the number 42 of Connor New, who sits in the penalty box now. It'll be a man advantage for the Wildcats shortly when Thomas is freed from the penalty box, but first we'll have to resume play. Now the Wildcats, a man-up chance here. Kentucky trying to make their most after the 1 minute penalty. That's in Connor New's favor as that shot ringed iron from Jack Clark. Still a man-up advantage for the Wildcats. As that shot goes wide, up over the net. Back to even action. Connor New returns from the penalty box and action continues here in our fourth quarter. That shot wide, out of bounds. Kentucky continues to try to get across with 10 goals already in our fourth quarter. Time remaining to add on. Kentucky from the X. They've gone over to the top before here in this one. Maybe trying to set something similar up here as they pass to the wing. A little soft. It's taken away. Millersville now travels up the near sideline. And a long pass won't help out Kentucky as it's taken away. Passed over, University of Kentucky circulating it around to the corner. Now back into the X. At midfield with Millersville, passing it off, still in their possession, scooped up by Sean Shiriako. And from the corner, the action will resume with Millersville still holding possession. Passed off to the wing. Scooped up there, sent out to midfield off the bounce. Kentucky Good stick work there from Ben Thomas to hold on to it. Passed away to Mikey Ancona. Now the action slows down to a crawl as Ancona passes it off. If you're wondering about the matchup on the other field, it is a one-goal game between the Hoyas and the Dutchmen. A really close game, 11-10. Here, not so much between our 1 and 8 seed, where the Wildcats still hold on to a 6-goal game and will face the winner of our 4 versus 5 game being played simultaneous with this broadcast. Move made, the shot rolled in, and easy scoop away and send off for Jacob Gerber. Continuing to fight through. And whistles come out here. Possession for Millersville. Thank you to everyone here watching the Fans Only Sports Network. You can check out our social medias, Instagram and Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, at FO Sports with a Z on the end. Remember the Z, FOSPORTZ. Keep up on all things being broadcasted live, when, where, and all of the info on this tournament as well. One-stop shop for your live streaming, presented by Fans Only Sports. As that shot last second deflected, and it will go all the way out of bounds. Connected with a car on the way too. Play back underway with Millersville holding possession in the X. Knocked down. Kentucky scoops it up. Coming from across the field, here comes Jared Plummer. Now a pass inside, a couple of moves, and Jack Mitchell puts his name on the score sheet for the 11th goal of the Wildcats' day. Seven lead, 7-goal lead. It's 11-4 in our fourth quarter as it continues to wind down. Teams for our 11 a.m. matchup all here, gearing up and ready to start warming up. Marist and Westchester watching along this 9 a.m. matchup. A good chance they could be facing Kentucky if one of those two teams advance all the way to the championship game. Or at least to the semifinal game, where they could face off. Kentucky weaves through, sends a shot in, it's saved. Now going to be cleared out by Gerber. Defending hard, and Mikey Ancona goes down on his tackle there. Trying to get through a double team, some pushing and shoving by Millersville, and it's going to be a 1-minute penalty going against Team White belonging to Kentucky, so it's going to be a man-up chance here. Mikey Ancona off to the penalty box. 1 minute man up advantage for the Marauders. Millersville, another chance to get on the scoreboard, get something here out of their trip to Maryland. Ball passed along, off to the wing, now up top. In the slot, coming out of goal, good aggressiveness from Kentucky, but now a mistake as he loses possession out in front. And as he's hit to the floor, Connor New puts the man-up advantage to rest with the goal scored for the Marauders. 11-5. A bit of a mistake from Kentucky. And the penalty, there's going to be an additional penalty heading Kentucky's way out because of that hit. Unnecessary roughness will bring a man-up advantage right back in favor of Millersville. So no face-off because of the penalty. Millersville has possession. From the wing to the corner, ball loose. Flicked out behind the goal where it's scooped up. Kentucky takes it away. They're trying to kill off a 1 minute penalty. Our fourth quarter is winding down here. 11-5. The Wildcats with a strong performance to open our day. Kentucky's jerseys representing their home state of Kentucky right above their numbers. Ball on the sideline. Back to even action now with time winding down. And Kentucky looks all but assuredly off to the semifinals matchup for Division II, which will take place at 5 p.m. Semifinals matchup for our 9 a.m. matchups at 5. One as well as the 11 a.m. matchups. Those will take place on Field 2. So the winner of our next game broadcasted here can be seen again on the other broadcast. As goal again here. That's 4 goals for him. And Kentucky, 12 goals as a unit. Continue to add on here with scoring on scoring. Millersville as a team has played the most games of any team in league for 2024. It's been a busy year for them to get them there as a flag on the play. Another flag on the play. Kentucky continues to hold possession. 3 flags on the play with Kentucky getting the score across. Jack Clark puts goal 13. And the penalties were on pushes. Referees say wave them off as it's 13-5 now. One minute to go now in our first matchup of the day. Final moments from our 9 a.m. matchup while the Georgetown and Union game continues to roll on our second field, where the Union Dutchmen are up by 1 with 2 minutes to go. It's 13-12. A great back and forth happening on field 2 with Tim Duffy taking it in with you live on the Fans Only Sports Network. Might be able to catch the conclusion here as the final seconds are ticking down from and that will do it for us in our first game. With our camera coming back into the frame, it's a final score of 13-5. Kentucky was a strong team, as strong as you'd expect the number 1 seed to be, taking down the Millersville Marauders in our opening matchup, and they'll move on to our semifinals action. Will they take on the winner of Georgetown and Union? Stick around for our 11 a.m. matchup coming up shortly. We'll be live with that one soon. But for this one, we'll say goodbye. Have a great rest of your day. On behalf of myself, Charlie Adams, and the rest of us on the Fans Only Sports Network, we'll see you shortly with our 11 a.m. game between Westchester and Marist.
All right.